like it means nothing.
We are running a risk of losing it all.
Like it means nothing.
Look at you, beautiful, wonderful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a minute again. Disobey 2025. I think we have over 1,000 people in by now. So we've gotten better at scanning tickets, if nothing else. Give yourself a huge round of applause. Thank you. So, we need to go through some stuff. Like normal, this is a hacking event, which is a little bit different than an industry event, or a cybersecurity event, or an information security event. We're here because we love the tech. We're here because we want to solve the hard problems. And we're here because we actually care about each other as humans, and not only the bottom line, or what's after. Hopefully, some of you may be here to make a buck, but I won't hold that against you. So, unless somebody is jamming the RF frequency, the clicker isn't working. This is our code of ethics, our hacker's creed, and it's based on Stephen Levy's book, Hackers, the Heroes of the Computer Age, from 1984, which incidentally is almost as old as I am. It effectively states what we tried to convey with the intro as well. We can create art and beauty on a computer. We can make reality what we want it to be, especially in the digital age. Access to computers, and especially information, should be free. We shouldn't keep it or gatekeep things that could help other people be more secure or be more safe. Hackers should be judged by their skills. And I think this is becoming increasingly more important. Just today, the US government has removed a number of holidays from Google Calendar, or forced Google Calendar to remove a number of holidays. And I don't want to make this political, because that's not my intention. But I think it's more important than ever to remind ourselves that we ultimately have the same skeleton. We're not that different. When I was growing up, we talked to people over IRC or instant messaging, and I could form deep friendships with people I've never met. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know if they were women, men, or presenting as whatever they want to. I didn't know if they were of whatever race or ethnicity. That wasn't what was important. What was important was the discussions, the substance of what we talked about, the parts that mattered. Everything else seemed like bogus criteria, and I think that's true for us as hackers as well. Ultimately, we believe at Disobey, and hopefully you all can subscribe to that, that computers allow us or enable us to change our life for the better. But we need more than just a code of ethics or a creed. We need some sort of, I don't know what to call it anymore. Maybe a code of conduct is the wrong thing. We need something that allows us to make decisions based on values, something that gives us an opportunity to have a foundation that's solid, something, even if it isn't fully unchangeable, is something that it's easy enough to look back on and gives us an understanding about the reality. To us, that means to respect privacy, to serve and protect the community, to share knowledge with the community, and This year, we have 46 amazing speakers and workshop people who are doing exactly that on this stage and at the Security Theater and the Security Forum. We have many more associations at the Community Village, and a lot of our vendors and sponsors are here to do exactly that as well. We, together, are growing as a community. We're solving harder problems every day. To be able to do that, we need to act with integrity. And this is something that is becoming increasingly hard. I think it's really easy to have integrity when you have nothing to lose. It's really easy to make a decision that you can point at yourself and go, I'm a good person because I did that. But that's not what integrity is. Integrity is standing for something you believe in, even if you lose something, even if you need to stand up for something that may make you feel uncomfortable or may make the situation feel uncomfortable. And to act with integrity is one of the core values, core beliefs, I feel, that drives this community, that allows us to do the things we do. We don't need to second guess if there's an agenda. We don't need to think that somebody's out to get us, because we know the people we operate within have a high level of integrity. That leads to us avoiding conflict of interest. And I realize that we operate in the Nordics where we work with each other, we work with companies, we work with vendors, and everybody knows each other, so it's hard. We'll inevitably run into a conflict of interest. But we should try to actively avoid it, or at least flag it. Tell people that I may have a vested interest in a specific outcome in this specific thing. We should strive to not spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And we should protect everyone's data. Ultimately, all of this can be boiled down into not being an asshole. And I mean, I can't think of a better gender-neutral statement to explain what it means to not necessarily always be a good person, but at least not be an asshole, right? So that's the foundation that we build on. This year, we have some new, locations. The Security Theater and the Security Forum are across the glass yard diagonally, where we have the second main stage. It's an epic stage, at least as cool as this one. Then this is a little bit updated in the Merikaapelihalli side, and as a new thing, we have the community lounge after the community village. There's room to chill out and sit on couches. As a reminder, if you purchase or get alcohol from here, you're allowed to take it to the community village and the community lounge. You're not allowed to take it into the glass yard. And the same is true if you're at the Security Theater. You're not allowed to take it outside of those theaters. So this is due to what we in Finland call sääntö Suomi, but effectively boils down to being two separate alcohol serving areas, and nobody owns the area in between, so that we don't get in trouble with the authorities that are also represented here, by the way. Please try to make sure that you keep that in check. On the balcony, we have the sponsors as usual, and then our sustaining partners are here on the left side of the stage from my point of view, the right side of the stage from your point of view. At Disobey, we operate under the Chatham House rule. That means share information freely, but understand that what is shared here should not be attributed. You're allowed to use the information, but don't tell us or tell anybody else where you got the information or who told you the information. The reason we operate under Chatham House rule is to promote discussion, to promote information sharing, and to make sure that we can as humans in this room, as hackers in this room, talk about the hard problems, talk about the war stories, explain the learnings so that we can share with the community. So, speaking of our sponsors, this year, our main partner is Accenture Security, again, and we're very thankful for all of them having believed in us all this time. Please do visit their stand at the Security Theater over Tassintalo's side. Our sustaining partners are Patria and Telia, who are behind the curtain here. And then we have a significant number of other vendors. And I'm not going to read them all because you're smarter than me and you can read on your own. Effectively, these are who allow us to keep the ticket price as low as it is and enable us to be and operate in the way that we operate. So, who are we then? Disobey is an association, and unfortunately the chairman of the association has his voice a little down, but he is walking right there. So I'm going to say a little bit about this. The Disobey Association was started 10 years ago. We're a non-profit that both grant funds and hosts projects for the community. So we try to give everything we get out of this event back to the hacker community and to enable hacker culture. Our level of bureaucracy is very, very low. It's easy to get funding if you have a cool idea and you want to do something that falls within our values and our ethos. Typically, we grant money to founding new associations or new ideas, like the wonderful CitySex that operate all around Finland. We grant money for recurring expenses, could be licenses, could be hardware, and so on. And we don't grant money for refreshments. So we don't buy you beer. We buy you stuff that you can use to do cool shit. Exceptions can be made in the serving cases. If you have any questions or ideas in relation to the association work and have a vested interest in bettering the security of the Nordics, please come talk to either me or Mikko, and we'll think about how we can take those further, or email us at board@disobey.fi. So that's the official parts. I have a few more things that I want to talk to you about. So bear with me. We fucked up. I'm sorry. That's all I want to say about that. Yeah. So there's a AI tool called Google's Notebook LM that works kind of like a research assistant. What I did is I tried to find as many research papers and published presentations in relation to the trends and problems in relation to cybersecurity, fed them into Notebook LM, and asked it to condense it to one paragraph I could put on the slide. That's what it came up with. A lot of people I've shown this to went, well, that's what everybody says. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. Translation. Shit's expensive, yo. I think we need to do better. We need to start figuring out how we can lower the barrier of entry to cybersecurity, to being more secure. What can we do as a community to make sure that everybody has access to what they need, so that safety does not and security does not become a luxury product? That would be really bad for everyone. I don't want to work in a field that is protecting only people with money. I want to work in a field that's protecting everyone. And to do that, we need progress. We don't need perfection. We need to start somewhere, and then improve. Iterate, 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 until we're at a setup that makes sense. Until we have something that we can share and that is easily accessible for everyone. And it's really easy to get caught up on trying to create something perfect, not wanting to start until you have something that is as close to perfect as you can. And I think that's keeping us from making meaningful progress. So let's try to get started and then improve, instead of trying to make perfect and then failing and realizing it doesn't really work. The second to last thing I want to talk about is that everybody we admire in history, everybody we look back on from 100 years ago or so, lived in a world where they didn't have cold showers. They didn't have cars or airplanes or Wi-Fi or any of the luxury goods that we have today. These are the good old days. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to be grateful for. Effectively, every morning when we're standing in a hot shower, we should be going, holy shit, this is amazing. But we're not, because we get accustomed to it, and then we demand more and more and more and more. And that's what pushes us as a species forward. That's what allows us to become who we are as humans and as a community. So try to remember that over these 2 days. When you're going to be looking back at these days from next year or the year after that, you're living in the good old days. This is it. Seize the moment and don't wait for something amazing to happen afterwards. Ultimately, take care of each other and have a lot of fun. Also, hack the planet and welcome.